Hello and welcome to another wonderful evening of Ricci Mahjong with the American Ricci Mahjong League. I am one of your commentators, Tucker, also known as Ennui. Our broadcaster today is Nathaniel, and I'm being joined by Alex. Alex, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great as always. It's another fabulous Wednesday slash Thursday, wherever you are in the world. It's another exciting night of Ricci Mahjong here. We're about to get started here any moment.
We're going to be watching a table in the B2 division. This will be their first game of the season, where it's kind of exciting getting to see people playing with, not as much on the line. You will notice that Blaine has played 4 games. A lot of tournaments are going on right now, so you might see some weird numbers, and that's because people are having to play ahead of time. So that's why the numbers don't quite make sense on the right-hand side with this first table, but Blaine already completing a full round. And it looks like our round is underway, and we see three pairs right off the bat for Alon, our first dealer, and a Chun pair with that Dora Formon and a lot of Kantan shapes. This might just be a call and go hand. Although, if you look in the top right corner, you see Alon has one of the lower call rates at this table. Those stats are from last season. Although, across the way, Brian is already Ishan 10. Not exactly fantastic weights. The 4-6 Mon waiting on 5 and the 1-3-3 pin and the 1-1 so, but I mean, one away is one away, and we're only on like turn 4. Wow, and Alon draws the Anko of Chun as I'm saying that.
It looks like we kind of have potential
Each.
on the left. Maybe ooh, never mind. We have a Ricci from across the table there from Brian.
Yeah, has waiting on 5 on. That is Ricci Dora 1, but it's super head start, and let's see, I mean, that hand is going to be 40 fu minimum.
It looks
On
like
the
Blaine
yeah, like
here. Oh,
no, absolutely. I was saying what you had pointed out already, that Blaine is one away as well and has been one away. Has only discarded 1 tile from hand, and this Forso is spooky, but so is everything else. With this early of a Ricci, it's really hard to play any meaningful defense.
you're just kind of trying to gauge out what you know what's kind of dangerous. What can I get away with here? Uh, Maybe I just stick with the similar discards, try not to test anything too wild. But you know, I could certainly see some of the players, just trying not to go too wild here right in the opening.
Oh my god, dealer Tempai with San Anko Chun has to discard Dora into Ricci, though, to accept that. Yeah, and doesn't want to. Is going to discard that 4 pin, which is made Nakasuji by the 1 pin and 7 pin, so it looks a little bit safer. Actually, could call this and discard 6 pin and then wait Dora Tanki. Alon chooses not to do that. I don't know.
Oh,
Would you have
oh,
taken that pawn and gone Dora Tanki? Toy Sananko, Dora Tanki, a nice little dealer Hanemon. Not even
I mean
counting.
it. I would have done it.
Each.
I wasn't gonna lie there. Oh, we do have a reach there. He is gonna throw out the Dora, waiting on the 5-8 pin.
Yeah, the
Uh,
weight is just so much better now. Sananko Chun Ricci. I mean, this is Mongon confirmed. Could
we're
pretty
just
easily sumo and Urabomb for a Baimon.
well, already 4 of the 5s are already in other people's hands. We're expecting 3 more in the wall. So whenever those decide to come out and surprise us, maybe we'll get a sumo here. Who knows?
And it looks like Blaine now is just full folding. Blaine's hand looked so good at the beginning. It's kind of shame to end up folding. But once dealer chases a Ricci by discarding Dora, like, there's some danger kind of hiding around. And on the right, Jason also playing some good defense. Ooh, there's the
Oh,
8 pin.
is it gonna come out?
We do see 3-6 pin.
and he voids it. Nice.
Yeah, and the 6-mon.
Another dangerous tile, but he's going to keep that one. He's going to keep 3 of those 5s in there. They're going to be nicely safe and tucked away.
Yeah, Jason just hoarding all of Brian's winning tiles right now, and it did go to Ryokyoku. I always have trouble with that word. With neither of the Richis winning, that's a real shame for Alon, especially. I mean, Sananko,
We got
as
Kokoshi
dealer.
alert. Oh, does not
That's
go for it. That was
only
9.
6. Wait,
I think there
who
was
had 9?
Hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay. I was just miscounting there. Anyway.
It's all right. I'm a math teacher. I'm more than willing to pick up any counting slack. It looks like Blaine once again has a very nice hand, much faster than the dealer's kind of mess. Like it wasn't good enough to go for Kokoshi, but still enough terminals and honors to really slow them down. Whereas Blaine has now.
That is a nice pickup there. Wow.
Although if Blaine
I mean,
decides to pawn the Hatsu, it won't be Ipeco, obviously.
This has a chance to upgrade to 3, 4, 5 Sanshoku and have the Ipeco in there as well.
Yeah, draw 3, 4, 5, so. Ooh, gets rid of it.
Oh, okay. Well, decides to go with speed rather than the value. Although it would have been something to contemplate here. Is he going to take this and wait on Haku?
Boom.
That would be a pretty natural decision. Yeah, 3-pin, 4-pin, 5-pin is a better weight, but I mean, that Haku just seems destined to come out, even with the Hatsu call. The Haku seems destined to come out. I feel like I said Hatsu twice. But the dealer has gotten some very good draws. Is 2 away now at coming towards the end of row 1 and actually just drew Blaine's new deal-in tile, switching to that 2-5-mon Nobetan. It's gonna be kind of hard for Alon to dodge this if he gets Tempai. Jason on the right was really considering that 4-pin Chi, taking the opportunity to go open Tanyao, but was rewarded with an improvement to the hand after not taking it. Is perfect Ishanten now. That's another opportunity, but it would be a pretty bad Atazuke. 2 of the 4-pin already gone, and would only be able to win on the other 2 4-pin, despite 1 pin also being a part of that weight. Now we're gonna get the double tone pon. And there's Tempai. So that is Richi Pinfu Dora 2 for
on
Jason.
The 6-9 P.
What's probably gonna happen though? Let's see. Yeah, 5 so Chi deal in to Blaine. Oh no! Well, the 6-mon is safe to Jason, but the call shifted the 9-pin.
And hits an Ura on top of it. Wow.
So Richi, Pinfu, Sumo, Dora 2, Ura. An incredible hand there for Jason. And a great dodge of dealing into Blaine from Alon. Although actually dealing into Blaine probably would have been better than that sumo from Jason, since Alon had to eat the kind of brutal Oyakabari there. But on to the next hand. We got some good shapes in Jason's hand. Is really, again, there was a bit of a pause on that 2-pin. I wonder how seriously Jason was contemplating opening. We've got 5 good shapes here with lots of room for improvement. We'd like this to become just a normal Pinfu hand. Across the way, we have an Ishanten, I believe, for Blaine. Yes, that is Ishanten for just Tanyao.
Going to take? Nope.
Yeah, making a shift might be able to squeeze a Pinfu out of it, getting rid of that 7-mon, not wanting the Kanchan shape there. Oh, and that helps a lot. Now you can have perfect Ishanten. Yeah, discards the 7 so. We only see 1 9-mon in anyone's hand so far, and that's on the right in Brian's hand. But that hand still not well. That did help. That made the hand look a little bit better. But coming into the end of row 1 there and having one complete shape and everything else not really being all that
Chi.
well defined, like that 1-3-3-4 pin does not
We
spark.
have a chi call across the way for just open Tanyo.
Sometimes you just gotta take what the wall gives you. Can't be too choosy. We see 4 of the 5 and 8 so already discard, 4 more in the wall for Blaine.
We already see 1 5. There's 3 other 5s in the wall. And that is a nice pickup for dealer. Now which way do you think about? Okay.
Yeah, want to leave the pin fu route open. If you draw 3 pin, you still get pin fu, and you like that little bit of extra value. Alon, the 3 pin is gonna. It looked like Alon was kind of pushing this towards Chitoy. Alon doesn't have to full commit to Chitoy as the hand is now, but discarding that 6-0 takes some run possibilities away for sure. If you wanted to force a normal hand, you might have discarded 7 or 8 mon, perhaps.
Yeah, this is kind of a little difficult to navigate for Elon. You know, he kind of just has to stick by this Cheetoy, I think. Because a lot of what he dropped is going to put him right back into Fury 10, which always causes a lot of problems naturally in this game.
Unless he just goes for Cheetoy, which is always possible. Could also just start pawning. Could pawn for 1 away. Brian finally getting an upgrade to Ishanten here at the very end of the hand, it would seem. Blaine did not. Did Blaine break Tempai on the Haku draw? No. Yeah, 2 Hako had been cut already. I'm kind of curious if that was actually just like a misclick or something, because there's not really anything to be scared of with the white dragon there. No one looks like they're going for Kokoshi. You've already discarded Dora. No one pawned it or anything. But now is Furiton waiting for 7 so. Be real nice to draw a 5 or a 6 that you can get rid of that Furiton. Oh, and there's Tempai for Brian. Does not call Ricci. There's only 4 tiles left. That was basically the last opportunity for anyone to call Ricci. Blaine can get out a Furiton here by discarding the 6-0. And that 2-pin, 5-pin would not be a valid win for Brian unless it comes on the final discard. Dealer not currently Tempai. Yeah, and it's not going to get there. So dealership is going to shift with Blaine and Brian. Tempai.
It's an exhaustive draw once again.
Oh, wow. Jason's not our dealer, but that's a lot of Sozu. That hand looks pretty, but we'll hop over to it in a second. Brian starting off with 4 pairs. But this can still pretty easily become a normal hand, especially since you can use that 5-so and that 4-6-8 Ryankan. Whenever you have 4-6-8, it always I always go, ooh, all green, but it's, that's not really a good shape for it since everything that would fill it in is not green at all. Brian discarding the 4-so, that seems like a hard commit to Cheetoy, I would think, since that takes away our ability to use the Dora 5. I would imagine if we do draw the 5 that Brian would want Tonki on it.
Pulling across the way there, that kind of looks like maybe something Chanta, Honitsu maybe? Possibilities, perhaps?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's most likely a Honitsu force. We'll probably see the 5-so here.
It's Dora. Oof. That is
now that we have the Chun, yeah, discard 6-pin. The Dora, if we draw, say, 6-so, the problem is we have nothing in our hand right now. There's only one shape that Alon still has. It's a pretty aggressive calling.
Hang on. Brian might actually be going for Sulanko here. He just kept the 5. Maybe.
You're not going to
I
turn it
don't
down.
know.
The 1-mon and the 2-mon are the 1-mon, 2-mon, and West are all pretty callable tiles. So this could be a pretty natural toy dash, especially as we see 2 3-mon discarded. You really feel like the 1-mon and the 2-mon have to come out. Alon did end up throwing that Dora. Is now 1 away. Yeah, skipped the 1. I'm glad you pointed that out. I feel like we get to Tempai so easily with Toy here, with how easy those tiles
now across the way. That is gonna be Chantaho Nitsu now, for sure.
Yeah, basically has to be. I guess there is a world where we draw 2-pin or something like that, but that's incredibly unlikely. I mean, but meanwhile, all the pin tiles are in the pond, like, and it doesn't look.
Draws the
1-mon, passes the pawn, and just gets it. That's that Ho-Oh knowledge. I was going to draw it. There was no reason to rush to pawn.
This actually could be happening here. I don't want.
We see a 2-mon on the left, none in the discards, and we see a 3-so on the right, none in the discards. So one of each still to be drawn. And as for the West, I think they're totally live. Yeah, they are. So still 4 tiles for Brian to draw to get Suanko Tenpai. There's the last 2-mon. Do we pawn this? Yes.
Yes. Okay. Well, we were living the dream there for a moment, but
yeah, but this is still a pretty like as soon as someone draws the West. Well, actually, Alon is making West look really dangerous. Alon doesn't have it, but if I was someone at this table, I don't think I'd discard West out of concern that Alon has Honitsu, West, Chun. That's an easy Mangan. So Alon's Honitsu might actually make it harder for Brian to win.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. We still don't have Tenpai for Alon. Now he's just going Honitsu.
Yeah, Blaine calls Tenpai immediately upon Ricci immediately upon reaching Tenpai.
Does he con this? Does he con this?
Does not.
But keeps the option open.
Yeah, I'm sure that if Alon reaches Tenpai, we'll see the con. The north is fine. The south.
Oh no, he tosses it. He just tosses it. Okay.
Very disciplined. Very nice. We love to see it. Is Brian going to discard the 4-pin here? Yes, does. We see all 4 5-pin. We see, I guess, only 2 3-pin. But a lot of 3 3
Oh, it draws the West himself.
That's going to be San Anko as well. San Anko Toy for Brian. 4,100 all because of the exhaustive draw last hand. And now Brian has stolen first from Jason on the left. And this is another beautiful hand as dealer. All good shapes. And that solo 5-pin is a beautiful shape all on its own. It's right next to Dora. Across the way, Alon has another funky hand. Once again was dealt a pair of Souths and a pair of Chun. Skips the first South and skips the second. It's going to leave the Souths as the pair if they stay in the hand at all, it looks like. That hand looks much less likely to become Honitsu, although still could become Chanta if Alon is willing to discard the 4 or 5-so. With that 6-mon draw, it'd be a little weird, but
yeah,
value is value. Just gonna let the hand see.
For now.
On the right, Blaine having good draws again. This is 2 away.
Yeah, definitely can play around with that 3-7 mod. It's very receptive. You know, 3-7 of any of the 3 suits. You can accept any tile. So he's just kind of sussing out. Maybe I'm just gonna keep this as long as I can. Maybe I'll build it quicker that way. Kind of just wait and see how it goes.
Yeah, 3-7 is a really interesting shape because there's 5 tiles that give you 2-sided weights. 2 mon, 4 mon for Rionman, 5 mon for Rioncon, and 6 mon,
Pump.
8 mon for Rionman. So that's a good point. If you're gonna have 2 tiles in a suit, 3 and 7 are definitely the best. Meanwhile, Brian drew an Anko of the Haku, is now Ishan 10. Perfect
We
Ishan,
had
matter of fact.
we had Chun call across the way,
Gee.
so that's already Diaku. Oh, and there's a call right there. Now we're on 1-4. We already see 3 of the 1 and 2 of the 4.
One of those being a discard from Alon. It's like Alon knew that that call was coming. Discarded the Forso right in the nick of time is kind of pushing a Chanta here. Well, not pushing yet. That nothing was dangerous when that Forso is discarded, but is forcing a Chanta, it would seem. Yep, is going to push that 5-so, keeping all of these outside shapes. Nobody looks all that concerned with dealer's hand. Just taking kind of normal efficiency discards.
Oh, that's another Dora pickup for Blaine. It's gonna fit that right into the hand.
Could actually consider opening for Tanyao and dropping the 1/1 mon. Now it's even easier to do so. Oh, just yeah, just discards the 2 mon that was in hand. Oh, Ishan
Oh,
now for Alon.
Oh, this is interesting now for Blake. Yeah, he's gonna keep this 7 there. Huh. I'm guessing he's kind of keeping the flexibility open, but
Yeah, might just be seeking Ipeko there. And we can still accept the 3 mon. Well, no, we can't. We wouldn't have a pair, would
we
we?
have Rishi on the left here from Jason, waiting on 2-5, I believe. Yeah, 2-5.
Yeah. 2 pin, 5 pin, and
but
that 1-so is going to deal right. It's not valuable, at least. 1500 plus 2 Homba is 21.
And then Brian's gonna pick up the extra Ricci stick and say thank you for the 1,000 points.
Yeah, just a quick little donation to the dealer's pot. Especially, Brian loves taking that off of Jason, especially as the direct competitors. Brian drawing into an Anko of 3-pin, has a isolated Dora in hand, and has kind of an awkward 5, 6, 8, 9 pin shape as well. This hand needs a little bit of work, but I mean, we've definitely
okay, of course, draws a 9 to pair with or to connect with the 8, just totally natural.
Across the way, we have another Ipeko closed in a hand right from the start here from Alon with that 7, 8, 9 mon.
It looks like it's Ishan 10, actually.
Yeah, it's not a good Ishan 10, which is a little sad. I wonder if there's any way to float Sanshoku here. Like, you know, if we draw 7-so, are we greedy enough to discard 5-so, 3-so? Probably not. Like, that's probably not a good play. But Sanshoku, Ipeko, Junchan, it just could be so much.
Ooh,
In like,
you hate to see the 5, 6, 7 mod discard across the way. I mean, it could have been an easier shape to have made if you wanted to make this hand complete a little bit faster, but you know what?
A great draw for Brian.
Yes.
It looks like Brian probably paying attention to the discards here. That 3-4 is obviously a better shape than 1, 2, 8, 9 in general, but we can see all 4 2-mon and a 5-mon cut. So, I mean, really, there's more live 3-so and 7-so than there are 2-mon, 5-mon. So
we have a Ricci from Blake again.
Ricci Nomi waiting 3-pin, 6-pin.
It's going to be hard to see. 1 3-pin still left in the wall. There's 2 6-pin also still left in the wall as well.
After making that comment about how there were more 3-so and 7-so left for Brian to draw into those 2 pin Chan, the next draw was a 5-mon. I mean, that is just Mahjong being the ultimate troll.
God, that annoys me every time. It's just like I just got rid of that, and now you're going to come into my hand one draw later? Thanks. Anyway, we did see Allen keep the dangerous 6-pin. Players can't obviously see what's going on here, but that is an interesting decision across the way.
I mean, not a single person has dropped a single Pinzu.
Yeah.
Oh, and now we have a pair.
Each.
We can chase without discarding a pin. And that fourth is 100%
Oh
safe.
my god. Ooh.
And then the 6 pin, we're
Oh
going to have
my
another
gosh.
chase. And the 7 pin filled in a shape for Brian. So we have Alon waiting, Ricci, Pinfu, Ipeco on 5 pin, 8 pin. On the left, we have Jason waiting. Oh
Boom.
no, the 8 pin's going to deal into the Ipeco. Jason's was Ricci Nomi. No Ura for Alon, but that's going to drop Jason below 330k. And now second, third, and fourth are all right there together. And Brian in the enviable position of being the only person above 30k.
Yeah, you get a huge bonus if you're the only one above 30k. So Brian is sitting pretty comfortable here right now.
There's still a lot of game left to play, not even in South yet. But Blaine here, starting with a pair of Haku, and on turn 3 already has an Ishan 10. This could easily upgrade to Itsu, a pure straight. We could draw next to the 3-so, or even upgrade
Boom.
the 1-3 pin shape. We are going to take this pawn. Now waiting 2 pin.
Boom.
Oh, I would go for it. I would totally go for this Honitsu right now. It's so early. There's no Manzu being dropped out there. The potential for this completing is huge. I would be yes.
Blaine obviously thinking the same way, pawning the 1-mon. It's very easy to switch a Tonki back to a Honitsu. Is anybody around the table? Oh, that's a great Arianman on the edge, winning 6-mon, 9-mon. Alon probably has the best chance of fighting here, just because there's so much value. Is 2 away? No, that's a 3-4-5. I'm a little, got a little blurry there. 3-4-5 says, yes, that's Ishan 10 for Ricci Dora 2.
Kong.
Oh.
Huh, which weight do we take? Do we take the Nobuton 2-5 or the Arianman 6-mon, 9-mon? What do you like better?
I like the 6-9. I think it's a lot easier to bait out the edge, seeing how it's still so early in this hand. Yeah, I think that was a good decision. We haven't seen it, and there's a Ricci.
Ooh, draws the 6 pin. So now this is Ricci, Tanyao, Dora 3, thanks to the Khan, waiting on 3 pin. Oh, there's a 9 pin. I hate it when there's 1 9 in a hand. It's like its only purpose there is to just taunt you for not getting Tanyao. I don't really see Blaine backing down though with a 3-han Honitsu and a pretty good weight, especially with Alon having to discard whatever is drawn. Because there's no guarantee that Alon's weight is better than yours, and with all of the Dora out, you might be worried about Alon's value, although Blaine probably isn't, considering that he just dropped Dora 5, the new Dora 5 right into it.
There's just a lot of apprehension about players not being too far away, others declaring Ricci. Whenever I see the first Ricci, I'm just like, oh god, what are you waiting on? How do I avoid this? Just it's always that
Yeet.
tense situation of just having to defend. And here we go. There's another chase.
This one is Tanyao. There are no sneaky 1s or 9s in that hand. That's Richi, Pinfu, Tanyao. We could get Sanshoku if Brian wins on the 2-pin. It would be a 2-3-4 Sanshoku. And there's 2 Dora. So we have battling 2 Dora hands across from each other. Jason just keeps getting tempted. That 6-mon has been sitting in Jason's hand for forever. And it pairs up! It's never going to get rid of it. Could chase. That's Tempai. Doesn't. Well, it's still Tempai waiting on Forso. Cannot win that.
Oh my god! And Blaine's getting tortured with all of these Monzu. It's the wrong one, and he's not even going to win.
Jason
no Yaku.
That call
no Yaku.
Because the 8-so safe. So took the chi, discarded the 100% safe 8-so. Oh, there's the 9-mon. This is honestly the best hand to deal into. Doesn't. Okay. No, the 2-pin.
My god.
Does Blaine push it? The 2-pin's disastrous. Oh my god, if Ura is hit here, this could be absolutely brutal. I mean, it's already brutal, but it is just a Hanuman with no Ura. Richi, Pinfu, Sanshoku, Tanyao, Dora. An incredible hand and an incredible chase for Brian. Now double anyone else at the table with that excellent hand.
Blaine was just waiting so long on that Honitsu. I feel bad. That was early row 2, and he still didn't get there.
Jason did a wonderful job of not discarding that 6-mon. Ended up pairing up.
Just that is the nature of this game sometimes. You know, you could have the most sneaky weights and you still don't get paid.
Well, now Alon is going to have to try and win to get back over 30K as we enter South 1 here. Has 6 blocks. Will probably want to get the 2-3-4 Sanshoku, but you can't push Sanshoku too hard. You just gotta let it come to you sometimes. It's actually throwing that 3-pin right back. Doesn't want it. It's gonna stick with 3 blocks instead of 5 more complex ones. Across the way, Brian draws a Anko of Haku. Has a couple of pairs, a Ryamen, and some bad shapes, but Blaine already Tempai, calling Richi waiting on the 2-mon, Richi Nomi. And there's not much information for the other players to play defense with.
Yeah, a lot of terminals and honors, but out there, all the 2-mons are already out in players' hands, so it hasn't been cut. So there's a chance that somebody draws somebody releases tile the wrong way. We could see that 2-mon come out, but looking like everybody's hands. Let's see here. It's a lot.
Oh man, I'm just imagining how great it would be for Brian to draw a 7-pin here. We could have seen a 2-mon 2-pin weight, but it's gonna play with a little bit of safety. The 2-pin is Suji. Now, Alon drawing a very nice Ryanman upgrade here is gonna actually push this 4-pin.
I mean, he can't draw the 3-mon because all 4 3-mons are in other people's hands. So, I mean, it's gonna be.
Yeah. I
he
think
doesn't know
5-so 4-so here. Keep our Sanshoku. Oh, is actually discarding away from the 6-mon pair. Okay. Only reason I said 5-so 4-so is just because both look very safe. But this gives us a better chance of Pinfu if we get it close.
I think this is just looking to get to K10 because this is late in the round here.
It's never too late to win. Sometimes you can only win late. There's Tempai for Brian, waiting 2-mon, 3-mon.
Like I say, every single one of those tiles is either in his hand or other people's hands, so there is a possibility of it can
Alon,
come out.
Tempai on that draw. That
Besides, not.
that is Tempai for Jason. The 7-pin comes out. Since it's the final discard, we're going to see Hote Nomi. Could not have won that hand on it. Got Tempai with one tile left in the wall. Brian draws that tile, and of course it's the deal in. And it's a tiny hand, but it is not insignificant. It brings Jason above 30K, which is, in this case, essentially, instead of being a 1,500 point win, it's a 6,500 point win. If you consider Uma as a part of your calculations. Jason's starting with 5 pairs right off the bat. Ishantin for Chitoy.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I mean, okay, now do you think you want to just pair? Oof.
The problem is it'd be so slow to make a normal hand. I mean, it'd be impossible to make a normal hand here.
Especially when we
chi pong.
We have 3 calls from Brian already, and now he's waiting on 6-9.
Which is 2 of Jason's pairs. So Jason actually, whether he knows it or not, cannot go Toy Toy. It's impossible for Jason to go Toy Toy here unless he draws it, because the 6-pin and the 9-pin can't be pwned.
Because Brian would say, "Thank you very much for the win."
I mean, around the table, Blaine also won away here on just turn 7. Like, even that is very fast.
We have tiles flying all over the place.
Ooh,
that's Dora. Ooh. I think
doesn't want to toss that quite yet.
Yeah, you could definitely build around it. There's still time. We are just hitting middle of second row based on discards here.
Yeah, it always gets really hard to track that, especially as a player, I feel like sometimes, especially, for Jason here, to keep a good idea of where we are in the hand. Obviously, Brian is probably Tempai, but to make sure you have a good read on Blaine and Alon, it's important to remember that 2 of your tiles got cheated and you got skipped once. So essentially, there's 3 more turns than it looks like have taken place if you just only look at your discards. Those 6s and the 9s are not coming out. They're not really even being drawn. There's still 1 of each left in the wall. Now that I mention it.
You could swap out the West. Decides to go with the 5. I mean, I guess
the 5-so passed a little bit ago. Like, the 5-so passed a little bit ago. Brian has not changed his hand since turn 4. Oh, there's Tempai, finally. Waiting 5-pin is going to Dama.
Yeah, this is a good decision as we're middle of third row now.
It's just kind of it gets the sumo!
Oh my god, for Chitoy!
Chitoy sumo 1,600 all. Wow. And Brian was Tempai waiting 6-pin, 9-pin on like turn 4. And Chitoy beats it the moment it gets Tempai. What a horrible, beautiful game that we play here. Jason's hand after that sumo is now only 20K away from Brian. As dealer, you can close that gap pretty fast. This hand not worth a whole lot as it is, unless you're able to force Chanta or something into it. But as dealer, might be is thinking that way. Has 2 complete shapes and a pwnable Haku, so we'll see what Jason decides to do. Brian actually.
There is a pwn from Alan with the 8-so. trying to make this a quick Honitsu, maybe a Chinitsu
Home.
opportunity if he gets some more of the Sozu tiles.
Brian now Ishanten.
What is he waiting on?
Ah,
4, 5. Yeah, 6 mods definitely the awkward tile in this grouping, but you know, can
let's
sit on the 3/6 Nobiton if he does somehow get that 5 mon.
be
Or a
wonderful
4
to
mon.
get a hold of that Dora. Alon dropping it. Across the way, Blaine. Still 2 away over there.
If you're playing, are you thinking about crazy idea? Okay, never mind.
If I'm
Correct.
Blaine, I'm probably not thinking much about anything at this point. This hand again. This is another hand that doesn't super spark joy, especially now that you have a dealer Ricci on the table. And that was kind of an unfortunate draw for Jason. Had done an incredible job of building out a Chanta hand, but just takes the Tempai immediately on the 6/8 mon waiting 7. This is Ricci Nomi. And then Blaine, of course, taking the Chi, is now Tempai waiting 4-so 7-so. Oh, and there's the Haku.
Oh.
Alon playing safe now. Discards Haku. Brian's got to choose something to push against dealer. Everything's a push here. So just discard 6-0, keeping the widest weight.
If
A beautiful draw for Blaine.
yes.
Blaine really needs to pair up the 7 to not deal in here, though.
Yeah, it is going to be. Blaine's gonna have to. Yeah, he is going to now fold out. I believe with that one pin toss, he is folding out his Pinzu. I think.
I can't believe that we only see 1 7 mon on the table. There's still 3 7 mon left in the wall, and there's only 2. There it is.
Oh!
It was more live than the 4-so 7-so at that point. So $1,000 plus a Homba is 1,100. Roll it again. Now less than 1,600 behind Brian. This hand not quite as good, but it can be improved pretty quickly once we get rid of our terminals and honors here.
We have
but
a
thankfully not.
4-so Dora. I always see 2. Yes, 2 in there.
Brian does have a hand that could incorporate the 4-so Dora, though. Would fit in pretty nicely. Brian's hand probably looks the quickest at this point. Alon still has so many terminals and honors. Blaine could call the West to speed his hand up a little bit.
This looks like a pretty fast Panyao looking like hand from Brian. Just, I guess, maximum flexibility around maybe even. Oh, do you switch for? Is this Tanyao Chitoy over here for Brian? He's got.
It still doesn't have to be. It's 1 away, and you can still definitely call Chi on 5-pin, 8-pin, 4-so, 7-so.
Okay, are you thinking
Chitoy
or Rian Peiko? Because there is opportunities for both.
I would, I guess, be thinking Pinfui Peiko as the most likely solution. But, I mean, we're not going to turn Rian Peiko down if we get it. If we draw 5-pin, 8-pin, 4-so, 7-so, yeah.
No, he's just going to call.
We were just going to Chi as soon as we could. And it's going to take a very callable 2 Shanten. Can actually get 5, 6, 7 Sanshoku still.
Yeah,
I think 2 different ways to get an extra Han. Can either could Chi or draw the 4-so Dora for a Han, or Chi 7-so, still leaving Sanshoku open. Now we have Tempai Blaine waiting on the 3. So
The Colt wait. Donzo. That is a
doesn't
thing.
like it and called Ricci. Isn't initiated into the cult enough, apparently.
Boom.
Imagine that'll be a pawn for Brian. Ooh, and discards 5-so. That's our only pair after we pawn 8-so. The 5-6-7 Sanshoku dies, as does Dora Acceptance. But you take what you get.
I'm guessing he's gonna hold on to that Hatsu for as long as he can with safe tiles. I think if he reaches Tenpai, I think that Hatsu is going to come out. But it is going to be a safe tile for as long as he wants to. And there's the reach across the way. Now waiting on that 3-so.
Waited to call Ricci until he was a discard from hand. Oh, and then immediately the wall gives Blaine a Suji trap. Jason hard folding, it looks like.
Yeah, Brian is, I think, also folding. He just folded this 6-so, so I don't.
Well, I mean,
believe...
the hand isn't given up on yet. This 2-so is going to be a bit better of a tell. Yeah, draws the 6-pin. Because the 6-so, we could still make a hand there. It'd be hard with all the 5-so and 8-so gone, but...
Yeah.
Sumo.
Oh, and there's Sumo.
The Church of Sanso wins again with Ricci, Sumo, Dora.
I think if you're Blake, winning that hand is gonna take a lot of the sting out of the potentially big loss of Uma on there for having.
Well, Blake still has a dealership and is not really that far behind Alon. Is 11K back, which is 1,000 less than Amangan Sumo. So even like Amangan Sumo here basically tie him and Alon going into the dealership. But I mean, as dealer, obviously any hand is worth 12K, so is certainly within that range. But Brian is going to have to be stopped first, and this is another gorgeous hand for Brian. Could easily get Tanyao, Pinfu, Dora here. Just want to draw next to that 4-so, or just go ahead and complete the 1-2 pin shape, and you would take your Pinfu Dora. Actually, Brian, I guess, could theoretically stay Dama for that.
I just want to make an observation. How many good hands has Brian just opened up time and time again this game?
Yeah, Brian's definitely been blessed by the wall. It hasn't all been like we've also seen Brian rework some hands after someone has called Ricci in incredible ways. I mean that massive Hanuman with the Sanshoku was kind of the result of trying to play safe against someone else at the table. Like Brian has both opened up fantastic hands and played beautifully. It's been kind of the most you would ever want from Mahjong when watching.
An opening game, nonetheless, of the season. Like,
yeah, as Kitty Catastrophe has said in the chat, 8-Dan does not make itself. You earn that.
Ricci.
We got a reach here
from Jason. Waiting 8-mon.
I think is that just reach Nomi? It's just reach Nomi, I believe. Sanshoku?
7, 8, 9 Sanshoku. As Flowbook would say, you always Ricci confirm Sanshoku, according to Flowbook. Since Dustin is not here, I will advocate the good book, even though I personally don't follow it. Everybody kind of had a piece of the Dora here except for Jason, interestingly enough. And all of them useful. But if you get Tenpai first, often that's better than extra value. 6 has a good draw for Brian. Could still get K10 here.
Is he going to try and still fight to win?
I mean, we could pretty easily Chi 7mon drop North. I mean, North is Jason's wind, but it's once cut. Like, that's still a very low deal-in tile in general.
We have another sighting of the 8. Is it gonna come out?
Blaine,
Is it gonna?
Blaine can use that. Blaine's actually Ishan 10 according to his discard here. I mean, 6-pin seems like the most natural cut. This is actually perfect Ishan 10, as a matter of fact.
And we have another possibly work.
Yeah,
I
Brian
don't know, maybe
dropping the Genbutsu 7 is like there's no like the North is not a horrible tile, but there's no reason to drop it until you know it's safer if you're not Tempai. And Brian, we see, does not
it's
drop
gonna
the
get
North until the other one
confirmation.
gets pulled into hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's Tempai for Blaine. Can't call Ricci, but 1-0 would win. And so there, that's what we're talking about. That win from Blaine was massive before, because now with that extra 1,500 points, there's only 8K separating him and Alon, and there's a Ricci stick and a home in the middle. Now, the bigger issue here is going to be that Alon has opened up a beautiful hand, a Ryanman pair, a pair, and then the double non is South, has the South in the South wind. So Alon has the kind of hand that when you are trying to fend off dealer from stealing your placement, you pray for. Like that is absolutely a call and go. Now you'd like to make a Hanuman out of it so that you could get above 30K.
Yeah,
But you don't want
it
to
is
too much and get overtaken.
Boom.
now. It is all left, and you know, Blaine could go on the run of his life in the league. When dealer wins and is in first place, the game does not end. It keeps going until they either fail to have like a callable hand, or or if they fail to reach Tempai, or somebody else wins. So Blaine could go on the run of his life right now, but this is
Well, to do that, Blaine would need the draws of his life, because this hand does not scream, I am keeping my dealership, which is a real shame. God, and Alon drawing the Dora 9-mon. Ishan 10 now for Alon. Brian on the left drawing the Hatsu. That hand could also become not necessarily dangerous value-wise, but dangerous to Blaine in that it would just end it. Across the way, Jason.
that's a nice pickup of 7. So this hand needs to speed up.
Especially when this Hatsu comes out and Brian calls it. Yep. Which skips Jason, who has 4 pairs in hand again. Like, I don't think Jason has been necessarily
Another nice pickup for
G-Toy.
Another nice pickup for Blaine. Now this hand is starting to pick up some speed, but is it too late? Because now we have Tempai waiting on Formon.
And now we have Tempai on the right waiting 5-so, 8-so. Tempai all over the place. Oh, and there's the 5-so.
And it's immediately discarded, and that is the game. And Brian's going to pick up the win there, 36.6. Jason's going to get second with the plus 12. Alan's going to take third with minus 10.6, and Blaine's going to take a minus 38 in last place.
Yeah, and that was really unfortunate for Blaine, especially there at the end. Had gotten a little bit of momentum and then just picked up a real stinker of a hand, and Alon called out that hand beautifully. But Brian, the star of the show here, I mean, just so many great high pie, so many great decisions, so much great Mawashi. Like, that was really excellent mahjong from Brian. But that was only their first game, and they have started their second.
There was also a lot of great defense and the moments from some of that hands. I mean, we had orange tiles all over the place. It seemed like just players just going for crazy trying to get those win opportunities. Just So we're just waiting for if we're going to stick with this table or maybe switch to another table. But you can see there, that's the current standings for this season right now.
I am going to step away for a second, try and fix my mic here. Nathaniel, though, probably the most seasoned commentator of Mahjong in the entire ARML, perhaps, after all of the seasons he's been running things, is going to take my place for a second. So enjoy the luxury stepping in for me while I am gone.
All right, thanks a bunch, Tucker and Alex. That was an exciting game. I do think that we will stick with the second game of the series. It was so much fun the first time. How about this second go round, huh?
Yeah. I can't wait to see what this second game is going to. And here we go.
Already underway.
Nathan, take it away.
Yeah, Brian the first dealer, Alon to the right, Blaine, Mr. Smallman across the table, and Jason on our left. Scores even up again, and once again we see Brian opening up with a really nice high pie. You noted in the last game there was a good combination of nice high pie being worked into one hands, and also high pie that were far away from Tempai being worked into nice hands for Brian. We'll see if he gets the 3 mon or finishes another shape first. Looks like 6 mon is going to improve the shape.
He's going to get rid of the edge weight. He's going to take the more favorable shape.
I gotta ask you, Alex, are you a fan of penchants? Or are you one of the players who likes to get rid of those 1, 2, or 8, 9 shapes early?
Yeah, I kind of, if I see some early tiles, I'm like, nah, I'm not going for this anymore. Like if I see a 7 or 9 mon, if I'm waiting on 8, I'm like 8 going.
Yeah, fair enough. And in this case, Brian got an excellent 6 mon trot, and it just improved it to a better shape. Now with a much wider Ishan 10, and I really like the chance, the possibility that is of drawing 6 pin, 7 pin, and perhaps getting Pinfu, Sanchoku 5, 6, 7 with Adora.
Yeah, I think this. Yeah, I really like this 3-pin pickup. He's got a little bit more. He's got a few more options that he can essentially pick up here.
Yeah, even
Although,
here, interesting. Cuts the 5 pin, so holding on to this Kanchan. We still retain the pin shape, but we're holding on to the 7, so just in case we can turn this into an improvement in the Sozu, and also we can turn this into Tanyao in the future as well.
It's kind of seems like you could wait on this for a busted kind of San Menchan on the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It would be 1, 4, 7, but him already having 2 of the 7s, do you go for that shape in this scenario?
I mean,
if it does come,
there's definitely a world where that could happen, and I would absolutely take it. We did see Blaine calling across the table for the 7 pin, and then immediately rewarded with the 4-so draw. So now Tempai, although it is Atosuke, it can't win on both sides of this weight, this 1-4 mon weight. Only the 4 mon will give the Tanyao necessary for the victory.
Yeah, and when somebody does drop the 1 mon, there is this thing called temporary Fury 10 where it puts the player that they can't call for the win, but anything else until they drop their next tile, they can't call to win necessarily.
Yeah.
I guess you can explain that better, Nathan.
Well, yeah, it's complex, but we'll put that thought on hold as we do have a Jason Ricci Pinfu, Dora 1, waiting 2, 5 pin. 3, 2 pins out, a 5 pin out as well, and unbeknownst to Jason, 2 more 5 pins held in hand. So only 2 tiles left in the wall for this weight. The first going to come out. Yeah, Blaine playing safe to Jason, discarding the safe 5 mon, but it wasn't safe. Alon was Tempai on that, so 2,000 points going the way of Alon. Yeah, Fury 10, definitely a concept that is a little bit tricky for new players. And so I'm glad you brought it up. If you, of course, have discarded one of your winning tiles or one of the tiles that would complete your shape, you cannot claim Ron from any of your winning tiles discarded by other players. You can still Tsumo. And so if someone else discards a tile that you would in theory complete your final shape, and you do not win on it for whatever reason, then you cannot call roll on any player until you've drawn your own tile and discarded. So something to be careful about when you have those atosuke shapes, that those 2-3 waiting on the 1-4, and you can't win on the 1. Sometimes you end up missing your chance to win on the 4. Someone drops the 1 before the 4 comes out. Makes it a little bit
Looks like
more
we
of a tricky
got a
rate.
really, really nice hand from Alan. There was chance for E2. Is going to throw out the 8-mon, so it's going to stick with a nice pinfu kind of shape.
Yeah,
Does
an interesting spot there actually for Alon. Upgrades to Tanya here and still has incredible tile acceptance for Tempai. Could have also considered dropping the 3-pin and holding the 1, 2, 3, 4,
can
4,
still
5, 6
accept
shape.
another Dora 5 so and waits on the 4-pin.
Oh, just
And-
draw the 4-pin yourself.
Is he gonna go Dora? He's gonna he's gonna sit Dama on the 5. We have a Ricci as well. Here we go again. Crazy stuff happening.
Yeah, 5. So Tonki, Dora Tonki for Tanya. Alon now has to contend with a Ricci on top of things.
He's gonna sit 7-pin Page Champagne.
He'll take the fight. You dare.
And he's gonna immediately chase sitting Dora Tonki as well.
How dare you Ricci against me, the dealer with all this value in my hand. Ricci Tanya Dora 2 will be 12,000 points for Alon. And now Blaine has to sweat here a little bit. 7 so Northweight, not amazing with one of each of those tiles having been discarded.
Yeah, so if one tile each.
So 2 in the wall for
Blaine.
Alon, 2 in the wall for Blaine. We've got a 50-50, and Blaine will come out on top.
Let's see. Hits 1 Ura, making it, upgrades it to a Mongon there.
Huge.
A nice win for having such a rough game 1. Takes now the lead early in this game. Now we head to East 3.
Yeah, takes that momentum straight into his dealership as well. Hypai has a bunch of Mon pairs, but it's a little bit awkward if you're trying to build for a normal hand. We'll see how he handles this. And oh no, the early backfire on the double East. Tragedy. I'm not sure if he had a better option to start with, maybe the 2-pin. If he thought about hedging Honitsu or even just...
Maybe I'm always one of those crazy players with combinations. I always saw that East and I was like, maybe I just commit to maybe like a Chitoi Honitsu type hand. I know it's coming from me. I always like to play wild and I like to dream. I'd be like, if I could get there, that would be the dream.
Well, all is starting to draw some Monzu, and yeah, I've definitely seen you dream for a Chitoi or two that have had some incredible outcomes. Sometimes dreaming is the way to go. I should note, of course, on the left, Alon very speedily into Ishanten now. If you draw the Mon tile, either 3-mon or 5-mon, would complete the shape for a Pinfu Tenpai.
Across the way there, drawing the 8 so to finish that 7, 8, 9 shape.
And there is a route to Sanchoku now. You can draw the 8-mon or 9-mon and aim for that 7, 8, 9 again.
Draws another 3. He could have a complex weight. He draws the 6-mon. He could have that either 4 or 5. Or you could have 2, 4, 5 pin
exactly
on a crazy weight.
And now gets the upgrade to Tanya as well, if that would be the case. So some great draws coming in to Brian, but Jason will be the beneficiary of another awesome Penchon fill. 7-pin comes into hand, and we've got Ricci, Pinfu, Dora 1 waiting on 3, 6-pin.
And oh, what do you do now? This is a tough decision now.
Yeah, it's awkward. Goes Genputsu. Brian, considering fighting, has a somewhat Okay path into Tempai. Jams the 9 pin in. The 6 mon, not really an amazing tile to expect to come out, but is taking the opportunity to maybe shut down this hand down if he can.
Sumo.
Oh, draws it. Sumo on 6.
No,
No Uran for.
that is a pretty significant win. Blaine was in the lead and had to pay out Oyakaburi there an extra 1,300 more than the other players. So that means Jason is a lot closer to the lead. And then open. You get this high pie. You're pretty optimistic, huh?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's get your Haku and go, I guess, huh?
Yeah, definitely a call and go type of hand. And there's a Doris. 2 of them now. So could be 5,000.
Oh, here we go. Here you go. There's the Haku Pone. And now just needs a key draw here.
It's going to be really interesting to see if Jason's able to use all these Dora. I presume he will aim for the maximum value and just end up cutting the 4 pin. In fact, goes ahead and cuts it immediately.
I think he's going to turn that 3 pin into his pair and then hope to either complete that 1-2-3 shape. Oh, but he is going to immediately draw into Tempai. Now waiting on that 3-mon. We only see one hand, 3 in the wall. So, I mean, it is a bad weight, but it's early.
Yeah, and of course, not guaranteed to be the final weight. If the 3 pin comes out from another player, or if he draws it himself, he can call that tile or complete a triplet and turn this 1-2 shape into a tonki, either 1-mon tonki or 2-mon tonki. Both of them seem justifiable in this situation. And of course, with 3 door, that would turn this hand to 12,000 points as dealer.
That's a nice pickup for Blaine there. He's going to pair his 2-mon there. There's another 3. Is he going to keep onto it? Yes, he will. Yeah. And that is going to be Tempai, actually. Waiting now on the 6 pin.
Not willing to take this Richi Nomi with a bad weight. Looking for an upgrade. Oh, there it is. That door we were talking about.
Oh, now there's a 6 pin. Does it come out?
It can't deal in. If it does, there's no Yaku yet. That is the last 6 pin. Of course, the Blaine holding 3 of them in his hand on the left.
Yeah, that is off wind for Allen. You can't win on that configuration, but now he is going to improve. But it's no Yaku once again, because it's off wind.
Oh, and no, and Jason backfired, picked the wrong Tonki. He needs the 2-mon, but the 1-mon came out. We have to keep an eye on Jason's hand too, because at any moment he could swap this to a different tile.
Each.
Oh, now he's going to take his reach. He has said, that is a missed opportunity on that 5 pin. He's now going to take his reach. Now his hand is valid to win.
Yeah,
because reach is now his Yaku.
We'll see if someone takes the bait. If they notice it was a Tsumokiri Richi, they might say, well, all the tiles that passed in the round before were safe, right? So they're still safe, surely. But that's not the case here. 5 pin now will deal in.
Oh, but and it's gonna avoid the deal in there. And there's the other 3-mon.
Dora comes out. Jason does not con. Unless he flips a new Dora that helps him out, would not increase the value of his hand. It would go from 4 to 5, which is still a Mongon.
Rishon would have been a possibility, but it's only one chance. And what's the possibility that first dead wall tile is the 2-mon? He is going to switch it up. Now it's Chun. He's sitting Chun Tonki here.
Oh, and Brian might be running out of safety. Goes to the 8-mon and does dodge. And this is the last 5 pin. Alon will find Tsumo Richi, Tsumo no Ura. Oh my goodness, that could have been... It was more likely to deal into Jason's Mongon than to Tsumo, but did manage to pull the win out. So we head to the South round. Still pretty even scores, all things said and done. Brian barely in
Yeah,
last
it
place
is.
here, but with the dealership.
Yeah, it is still anybody's game. 8,700 from first to fourth. So any decent value hand is going to get you right back in. So, and we have already each on 10 for dealer, I believe.
You're right. Ishanten. With a callable South, I imagine that with all of these pairs, it's just efficient to call the South and take your Tempai. And you have the opportunity to incorporate the door into your hand later. Oh no, we're gonna cut the
Oh,
South.
no.
Swapping over to
We're,
Tanyao.
yes. Maybe we're still holding on to the 2 4s just in case we can incorporate Sanzo, Dora.
Mm-hmm.
But we have a triplet of the Dora in what looks to be Jason's hand.
Yeah, they're on the left. Now, a lot of Mon and Pin tiles have come out so far, but doesn't look like we're going to be forcing Honitsu just yet because we've completed a 2-3-4 in the Pinzu.
Oh, and this is an interesting decision for dealer.
Forso here.
And it's going to... Ooh, I like to pick up with the 1-so over there. Now we can think about...
I think Brian is noticing that the player on his left is not discarding Sozu. And so he's not optimistic about this So shape completing. And he really doesn't want to draw, the 5, the 7 So. He wants to draw the 5 So or the 3 So to be able to use Dora in the future. Alon, though, has been making great progress towards this Honitsu on the right.
Yes. Jeez. Oh, another tough decision for dealer. Is gonna potential... Oh, this could, with the right tiles, this could turn into Rien Peiko, or just since it's a little late in the round, I guess you could just go for your Tanyao Peiko. But still, I mean, I would still be dreaming even at this point if I was this far along to big hand like Rien Peiko, which scores 3 Han. It's basically upgraded Chi Toy. For all the effort of making two runs of 2 different sets of tiles in the same suit, and then or 2 different suits.
We're going to see a Ricci Blaine across the table, slams Ricci Tanyao, waiting 7-pin, 8-pin. Only 1 tile on the wall for this wait.
It is a little bit optimistic, but you never know in this game.
Brian views these pin tiles as safe to that Ricci. With 3 5 pins, certainly makes sense. Does have to be a little bit concerned about the Honitsu on the right, though. There's the pull into Tempai.
Wait on the...
Just the 7-pin there for Alon.
7-pin would be double roan, I believe.
You're right. Unfortunately for everyone involved, there are no 7-pins left in the wall, so it will never happen. Brian chasing, though. 6-pin would be 6-mon would be Takame here. Tanyao, Andy Peiko. 8-pin for Jason's not a good tile. He's got so many Dora, though.
He is going to find the ability to dodge there. Very nice.
Looks like...
But does he give up this hand, even though it's so full of value?
No more draws, so he has to give up. And there it is! Oh my goodness! Haite Tsumo. Takame 6-mon. Ricci. Always coming up. Ricci, Tsumo, Haite, Ipeiko, Tanyao. It's a dealer Hanemon, and just like that, Brian takes a almost
Another
unbeatable lead.
commanding lead.
It's huge. Only player above 30K.
And we find ourselves in another situation in which Brian is taking control here in South One, saying, "This is my last dealership. I'm making a stand. I am gonna make a giant lead before I pass it over.
Wow, incredible. Yeah, I want to go back and review that hand later because I thought that was a pretty tricky hand to play, especially with a lot of incentive to play for the door acceptance. But in the end, found the path to win 18,000 points. In the meantime,
In the craziest way possible.
we've got South 1 repeat 1, East is the Dora, Brian holding one of those, Blaine holding the other, and 2 in the wall.
It looks like we have potential Sanchoku opportunities. I mean, we got 7-8, 7-9, 8-9.
Yeah, great
I
point.
mean,
Anytime you have a Yaku that can be opened with, you can always plan to door Tonki later, although Blaine will drop out that door East.
is he gonna call this or wait?
1
He is gonna take this call. He is gonna go that route, I think.
Yeah, 3-pin cut.
That-
So you called it. It's a Sanchoku, and now we'll see if the door gets used or not. If that's the case, we can easily drop the 4-mon and
That's gonna
Ace
have
later.
to be his pair, probably, in all
Right.
likelihood. Unless he draws another 4-mon, that's the only way.
No, yeah, we're definitely playing for door Tonki, although that's a second East that's come out now.
Although this is now game 2, by the way.
Oh, you're
So-
right. Thank you for reminding me. Let's go ahead and get that updated so it's accurate.
We do have Tucker in the
Yeet.
background. I think he's fixed his mic, but we're just waiting. And there's a reach
Oh, man.
on 4-7.
Richie Pihu Ipeko. So Blaine looking to get back over 30k with his hand. Might even find a Mungon here. It's relatively live in the wall. We can see there are 4 tiles remaining in the wall. 2-4 or so, and 2-7 so.
I think if you're Brian, I think you just gotta I think he's just
Yeet.
seeing like
Oh.
we gotta fold out, especially when another Ricci comes.
Richie Chitoy waiting 7-pin. Suji trapped with a Ricci tile, 4-pin cut.
And
Oh,
dodges
jump.
there. Oh, forced the deal in on that.
Yeah,
Oh.
checking Uda. Misses this time, so only 3900, but gets the Ricci stick, gets the Homba. Blaine,
And more importantly, gets over 30k.
absolutely. And, of course, in this league, there is a floating UMA, so that means if you are over the starting points, or at starting points, you will finish in the positives, or at least non-negative. And if you're below 30,000, you will have a negative total. So there's a lot of incentive to be over 30,000 points in this league.
Yes.
Interesting.
And we do see a Honitsu most likelihood from dealer. Although, yeah, that cut now turns it into Chanta opportunities.
Yeah, I was kind of curious to see if we'd angle towards that 789 Sanchoku Chanta type hand, or move more in the direction of Honitsu. And Alon seems to be valuing the Honitsu a little bit more here, holding an honor tile over that 7-mon. Might even choose to call here, but let's it pass.
We do have 2 Shanten over on with Brian there on possible Ipeko. Just depending on which way it goes, but that 8-mon is a very good floating tile, can connect a lot of stuff on there.
Yeah, even
Very
the 7
supportive.
7 so could be thought of as a floating tile. And oh, see, this is why we pass tiles, right? Don't call the north, just draw the north.
Yeah. Draws the last north, so
And really committing 8 so 9 so to follow. Of course.
although the six really. Ooh. Oh, okay. Ooh, maybe he's thinking of Itsu Honitsu.
Love to see it. Brian considering opening up here for Tanya.
And we do not see any of the 3-4 so far.
1
Well, we have 3 of those tiles across the way, but of course, Alan's not going to know that.
Right. I mean, the hand across the way is approaching Tenpai. It would actually be Ishanten for a normal hand if that 3-mon was retained, but still Ishanten for G-Toy. Door 2 potentially.
Oh, and there is the 7. So I think, oof, maybe that Chanta starting to decision might be coming back to.
Yeah, although I don't like if you play for Chanta, you have to cut the 5-6 pin anyway, so it's okay. Um, I'm very curious to see when, if at all, this South will leave Alon's hand, because Blaine has been looking to call double South for the entirety of this round.
Home.
Oh,
There's a Hone of the 7.
Jason's
I think
switching.
this is now just going Tanyo,
Yeah,
I believe.
and
Maybe
Brian
Tanyo Toy.
Tenpai chooses the 8-mon Tonki instead of the 3-6-mon Nobiton.
This is Tanyo Toy across the way on 5-mon 8 so.
Oh no, Blaine dodges for now, and Brian maybe regretting this choice of weight. Although the 8-mon did look very good. Remember, if Jason sumos this, it'll also be Sanonko.
Good point.
But in this case, only one 8-so remains in the wall for Tsumo.
Do you call? No, not. Wow, there's a lot of dangerous tiles being drawn, though. This is certainly getting tense.
Yeah, and the 3-6-mon has come out so many times you have to start questioning, is my read right? There was no call lag on the 8-mon. Shouldn't they be in the wall here? And they are indeed in the wall, they're just not coming out. Oh,
There's one.
Boom.
Immediately discarded for Tanyo Nomi.
Brian will shut down the hand. What a gorgeous start for Alon here, but we're going to shift over to Blaine's hand. Also very pretty. Ooh, what would you make out of this one, Alex?
Oh, ooh. I mean,
Each.
Oh!
oh, we
Look
have
at that.
double reach.
It was a double reach.
Oh, sitting on 2-mon. Oh man.
And Blaine had the
now.
Blaine could have called to break Ipatsu, but he says, no, that's 2 safe tiles. I don't want to touch this double reach. Just get me out of here.
I would have said this would have been Chitoi Honroto of all things, but now with the double reach, I abandoned that ship immediately, and he has done the sensible thing and says, "Nope, I'm out of here."
Although he
this.
continues to draw pairs. Honestly, the way that these cuts have been coming out, I think Blaine is considering Kokushi. Because he's dropping all these pairs of honors, but still holding one of each. Might choose to give it up soon, though.
Yeah, but what do you cut? I mean, it's just double reach is just one of those things where you're like, it's anything. That's the scary part. It can be anything.
Fortunately for the rest of the table, no Dora in Alon's hand. In fact, he discarded one soon after the Ricci, and it's even a bad weight. So it's just double Ricci only for 2,600, unless he finds Tsumo or hits an Uda. And this is giving Blaine free reign to just jam this Kokushi attempt.
He is not going to be able to find the Ura on the 3 because we already see all 4 in each other's hands. So maximum he could have gotten was to hit the 4, but obviously with 3/3 showing, that is not going to be a possibility. So the maximum he's going to be able to hit is 1.
Great point. And when you have a double reach like this, you have little else to do as the Ricci player but to count your Uda chances. And there's one of the 3 pins, and soon I imagine more will follow.
Sumo.
Finds the Tsumo instead.
Oh, draws Sumo himself.
All right, Uda from Mangan. Misses.
No.
That will put Alon back over 20,000 points. And so going into all last, there's a bit of a race going on. Of course, Brian has held the lead ever since his big Hanemon Tsumo. However, 3rd and 4th place definitely in contention between our current dealer, Jason, And Alon with that big sumo. And man, some spicy hands brewing here. Jason Dealer with great looking shapes. Chance for Richie Pinfu. To the right, Brian Kalpul Yakuhai. Hatsu
Oh,
pair,
across
Chun
the
pair.
way, we are 2 Sean 10 on Ipeiko possibilities.
Yeah, but if you consider
And
that as a Chinitsu attempt, then maybe we're a few more tiles further away, but the value is much larger there. Even considering
Chi.
opening a
do we
pair, I
call
would.
this?
Yeah, let's go.
Oh man. I mean, you could
Home.
still find a way to make this
Chi.
Chinitsu Itsu of all
Absolutely.
things.
Chi.
It's gonna call the chi. Now it needs to form the 4-5-6, and you would wait on the on Sanzo of all things.
Of all things. And of course, it's the Itsu is very relevant here because Hanuman would put him over 30,000 and into second place.
Yeah, it would be 500 for the Chinitsu, and then another Han for the
Chi.
Itsu itself. And then he wouldn't get credit for any of the Dora because he doesn't have any. But still, six Han over 2 Yaku? Yes, please.
Oh my, there's all 4 2-pins held by Jason. And depending on how he
Chi.
draws... Oh, okay, we'll call the 7... Ooh, I actually...
Oh,
Well, this is Tempai. This
well,
will
I
at least
guess
get you
he
out of
would
last.
confirm. Yeah, he's gonna confirm the Chinitsu now here.
Yeah, so when he could have cheated 7, 8, 9, leaving a 3-so and a 5, 6, 7 in hand. And that way, if he drew the 4-so, he could switch to the potential Itsu. Tempai 4, Brian on the right, 5, 8 pin. Trying to shut this game down. Jason has been playing this as if he is planning to con here, so...
Maybe I don't know, something crazy like con into like potential like still Suanko possibly. Oh,
Go.
and there goes the 8-pin.
Yep.
Deals in.
Will end the game. Another first place for Brian, getting off to a rockin' start in this season. Another first place, 31.0. Blaine with a 5.9 second, barely staying over 30,000 points. Jason will take the minus 11.1 third, and Alon negative 25.8 in fourth place. Another absolutely thrilling game. The highlight, of course, that crazy Ricci battle and the Hanuman Sumo on Hote of all things for Takame. Double Takame by Brian.
That is definitely going to be one of the clippable moments. And if you see a clippable moment in one of our games, do please hit that little scissors button. It helps us so much when we're compiling clips to show for next season when we have crazy hands like this. So if you ever find something, you just hit the scissors button and you just start it near the beginning of all the chaos there, and it makes our lives a little bit easier here when trying to compile all the craziness that happens on stream.
I'm glad you brought that up, Alex. We definitely do appreciate that. And if you are a member of the Armel Discord, post them there too, so that we can share them all later. All right, well, that's two games complete for this table. And we can see the standings here. Michael has been up in the leagues. I know Tucker has been keeping track of what's going on in that series.
Less I was keeping track of it and more Jowser asked about it. So I did a quick Discord search to figure out what had happened. And there was like just a crazy game where Kevin D was plus 72.7. Michael was plus 30.1. John E was minus 24 and Jake M was minus 78.8, but it was only a 14-hand, 38-minute game. Like, you see scores like that, and you expect there to be Yakuman and, like, 21 hands, but it really, 14 is obviously a little bit more than average, but it's not crazy, and 38 is pretty fast as far as time goes. So I imagine that was just, like, an absolute roller coaster of a game. Just Hanuman, 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 Baimon looks like the results there.
And after 2 games, Brian's EV is over 2,000.
Of course,
2,000.
50% call rate, 2050 EV.
The early stats do tend to get a little bit crazy. That's why we frequently show the stats from the previous season at the start, because these are pretty insane. Although I know Joe's in the chat. I do remember a season where his EV was over 2,000, and he kept it there for like 2.5 sessions. It's so impressive. But we will have more games. I know some have already started in various divisions. Perhaps we'll take a quick 1 to 2 minute break while we pull up a new game. When we come back, we'll have more action from the American Region Mahjong League. Stay tuned.
And we are back, coming right into the middle of an A1 table with Lucas, Simon Viet, and Jonathan. This is actually one of the rare times that the stats you see in the top right are just going to be from these beginning games, so expect them to be kind of wonky. I assume that Jonathan normally has more than an 8.1% call rate. But we see here that Viet has called Ricci, is waiting 4-pin, 7-pin. So this is Ricci, Pinfu, possible Sanshoku if he's able to win on the 7-pin. And with so many 5-pin out, you know, not everyone can see that there's as many 5-pin out, I suppose, but 7-pin isn't an awful tile. And it looks like Lucas was actually going for Kokoshi across the way. Is 2 Shanten, as it is.
Yeah, no, that is a Kokoshi, but I
But
think
it's not going to deal it. Like, obviously, it's just playing safe at the, like, yeah, discard Tatsu. Man, Viet not going to get this beautiful dealer hand.
Yeah, he is not. Simon
Looks like
Viet.
the closest Navitas ever got was Ishanten with a pair. But wow, a great opening here for Viet. I mean, you only have 4 blocks, but that hardly matters when they're this good. Be very easy to find a 5th block. Hopefully, a Dora pair, perhaps. Instead, we get the Pinchon. That's not what we wanted, but hey, you take speed where you can get it. Looking around the table, there's no other Dora waiting in people's hands, although Popti on the right can accept the Dora 9-pin. Could just slide and discard the 6-pin, although you probably don't discard 6-pin with the South and the Haku as options. Across the way, Lucas with also an incredible hand. You'd need to draw a couple more Manzu for it, but could get 4, 5, 6 Sanshoku. At the very least, you kind of expect Pinfu Tanyao out of that hand. And then on the left is Simon, who just has like a pretty normal hand. It's just there, doing its thing.
And Viet Viet did drop the 9-pin Dora, and Jonathan did not decide to call that, so maybe he's just waiting to draw himself with 3 more opportunities out there in the wall.
So for Jonathan to call the 9-pin, I guess would have to go for like Itsu? Maybe 4, 5, 6. Oh, I guess yeah, you cheese 7, 8, 9, drop 3-pin, and then force 4, 5, 6 Sanshoku. Although we have Tenpai across the way for Lucas.
Setting Dama on 2-7 Mon.
That is Tanyao Nomi. Perhaps waiting to draw a 6 Mon and then have like, I don't know what you'd call it, like an Asan Minchan. No, it'd just be like an Asan Minchan. Like, I don't know how Japanese works. I just know Arianmin it's just San Minchan, even though it's adding the pair.
I think it's San Minchan plus Tonki is what I've heard online, but
so San Mintanchan.
Yeah.
is obviously what that would be. But for now, it's just Dama. That's a good draw for Simon on the left. Now Ishan, no, still 2 Shanten there. Too many blocks.
Our dealer is Ishanten, right?
Yes, perfect Ishanten, you might say. And we've said that a few times this cast. I don't know if we've talked about it. It's the beginning of the season. Why not explain it? Oh, never mind. Ricci. So on the left, we are Ricci, Pinfu, Tanyao waiting 2-so, 5-so. It looks like there's so many ways that a Sanshoku could happen there, but there isn't one. No hesitation from Simon. Lucas, still Dama. We'll see how much Lucas is willing to push. This 8-so, not horrible, but that 7-so Tadashi wasn't.
Oh, does it? Ooh.
I mean, Viet, what do you discard here? I mean, I guess you could like 9-9-so or something. Yeah, 1 pin's 100% safe though. So if you're worried about being able to get to, there's only 12 tiles left when you're discarding that. So now we have a tile, not the best possible tile, but
just Sumos.
Lucas did not chase, which is interesting because he did have the Pinfu Sanshoku chase, but it did not waste the Ricci stick as Simon gets the 4-Han Pinfu Sumo there for 13.26.
No Ura though. on
And that actually drops Lucas below 30K. So now Simon, the only person above 30,000.
as we're heading into the last hand potentially of the East round.
9-so is Dora. Jonathan does have one of those. This hand's pretty nice. That floating 4-pin could really help us a lot. Unfortunately, we're going to be kind of stuck with that 8-9-so since it is Dora. Oh, we get a pawn from Simon. Trying to speed along here, perhaps skip Jonathan's dealership. Got a nice Rionman, Ishan 10, callable.
Although it's still early enough that we can turn this into Honitsu if we're thinking that's the way we want to go here. Because you got
what draws would make you discard the 3-4 Rionman?
definitely 9-pin if it shows up, 6-pin, 4-pin, something to connect onto those really easily, turn that into something where I can just be like, I could grab a few more of these. And they're like we said, I think this.
Yeah, now the issue is like basically anything you draw that adds also gets you Tempai. Like if you're able to pull in 1-pin or 8-pin, you would just be Tempai. But then if you discarded 3-mon, 4-mon, it's just taking the 8-pin pawn, not gonna keep that Nakabukure 5, 6, 6, 7, that very, very expandable shape. It's just gonna wait 2-mon, 5-mon. It's actually no Monzu have been discarded. So I wonder if people are really going to be worried about this. I mean, 2 Dora discarded, East pawn. People might not really be concerned. Like, that really does look like a cheap hand.
2 3-mon being out there, it makes more likely that a 2 or 5 could come out. So who knows?
Jonathan with kind of an interesting.
Oh, here we go. Here's the test, and he's gonna keep that in hand for right now.
Yeah, it's just the efficient play that gives Viet perfect one away, which I started to explain before and stopped. Perfect one away is if every single draw or call you can make into Tempai gives you a good weight.
There's a sumo for Tonomi, and now we are in South 1 now.
A nice way to skip someone's dealership. Especially when you're in first and you want to keep everybody beneath 30K. Lucas drawing in a 3 pairs here, but no good shapes. We can loosely accept the 6-mon, I suppose.
Calls here on the right here with South and the Green Dragon.
They were so quick, I did not even see the first one, if I'm being honest. I saw the Hatsu happen, the South, the double non just completely bypassed me. And there's a Dora in that hand, so that is an incredibly speedy Mongon. The only thing that's going to slow you down is that Lucas is so far away from Tempai here that he's going to keep everything useful.
Do you sit Pei Tonki, though, with 3 already showing?
With 3 showing?
Well, we have 2 in our dealer's hand, and then he has 1 there. Yeah.
Well, Simon doesn't know there's 2 in the dealer's hand, but I would 100% go Pei Tonki. Like, if I have the chance to go Pei Tonki, I always go Pei Tonki.
Oh, it's kind of looking like that way.
Yeah, that
could have called that on the 7-mon.
And now it's gonna take the 6-mon, 7-mon Shampoo Tempai. Although the 7-mon's dead, so this is only 6-mon. The 7-mon, us being able to see all 4 7-mon does mean the 6-mon's a little bit harder to use. But it's on the wrong side of that Kabe to really get anything done. Meanwhile, 4-so, 7-so deals into Viet for Chundora 1.
Voids.
Just kind of who's going to get it first here. We have 1 away for Jonathan. That would be Richie Pin Futanyao, more than likely, with 2 9-pin already gone.
Sumo.
There's the sumo.
Oh, just sumo.
We're seeing a whole bunch of you're dangerous. I don't care at this table. I will just end your shenanigans myself. And Simon opening up a maybe unstoppable shenanigan hand. Non-Hatsu, 2 great pin shapes,
Oh,
another
just pick up the
pin.
7. Just pick up the 7 to make this even more tasty.
We have enough blocks for Honitsu, and it's not like any of those pin blocks are substantially worse than 6-0, 8-0. Do we cheat this and discard 6-0? Yep.
Yeah.
Simon takes it.
Oh,
And no one else is anybody anywhere close. It looks like Lucas might be the closest contender right now, is Ishanten.
oh my gosh, and
but that's
that's
Tenpai. 5 pin, 8
With-
pin.
with almost every other tile showing.
The question
Wow.
is, if South comes out, do we call it? Our weight gets so much worse, but that does upgrade us to a Mongon. Oh no! I really thought with that 6-pin draw that we would switch to the Shampon, that we'd go 6-pin non, since again that would give us a chance for Mongon.
Maybe you force out an 8 here, because there's a lot of them showing.
And I'm really curious to see what Lucas is going to do. It's going to be hard to use both of the 5-pin and the 8-pin if Lucas wants to build his own hand, which, I mean, he's one away. On a 6-pin draw, it seems like, unless Lucas folds, could be in kind of a bad situation. There's 9-pin. Do we drop 5-pin?
You gotta drop one of the 2 pairs in this situation. I wouldn't drop it.
Yep, drops the 8-mon, as you said.
Yeah, that's
2 calls, early 6-pin drop. Yeah, you notice, I'm sure Lucas noticed that the 6-8, like, were both from hand. Especially, I mean, the 6 is obviously from hand because it came after a call. I guess the 8-so came after the call too. Simon just wait.